Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Nerds of the Round. My name is Bryan Pruitt.
Matthew Ferguson.
Josh Arnold.
Lance, just Lance.
No last name for Lance. No last name Lance. That's your new name. Done.
Works for me.
Like I said, welcome. This is Nerds of the Round, episode 2. Today we have a couple of topics from the internet and then one that we kind of picked to go over. So first thing we're going to talk about, aliens. Not going to say aliens, but aliens. Actually, a little bit different. Star Wars, episode 7, premise announced 30 years after episode 6. I'm going to pass that over to Josh, let him get us started on it. And we'll kind of take it from there.
Well, I'm sure everybody loved Star Wars growing up, but I'm super excited about this. I've always been a big fan of all the expanded universe. Now, they have come out and said that it's not going to be entirely based on the expanded universe, all the books and stuff that have been written after the movie, but I can't see them completely ignoring it. They've already let a lot of hints loose that makes it look like it's going to be based on the Legacy of the Force books. If you haven't read those, I definitely recommend it. It's great. But I'm super excited for the movies. What about you guys?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's Star Wars is Star Wars. So let's talk a little bit about Legacy of the Force. 30 years, so we're looking at the twins.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but the main premise is it's based around the twins of Han and Leia. They had two twins, Jason and Jaina. They are both very strong Jedi, and they have a cousin, Ben, which is the son of Luke Skywalker. They're all about the same age, and the story centers around them and their growth. It's a really deep and emotional series because there's a lot of things like what happened with the original trilogy, fall of good characters and things like that. But it's just it's a great story, and I can't wait to see it on the screen if that's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that because the books were so amazing, I just don't know what Abrams is going to do to even match that. If they're throwing stuff out from it.
Well, see, I don't know how much they're actually going to try to match either, because they're going to want it to be its own standalone thing.
And I understand
They don't want to take a book and say, okay, we're just going to make this into a movie.
It just had so many feels to it, though.
I don't really think that Disney would, because it deals with a lot of subjects that are not really Disney-like illegitimate children and the like. So
I don't think that's really going to have an effect, though. It's not going to be Disney's Star Wars.
Yeah, but it is going to be one of Disney's biggest franchises ever.
Of course,
and,
but I mean,
they're not going to want to tarnish themselves too much.
I mean, I know we talked about Marvel last week, but it's not Disney's Marvel. It's just Marvel. So with this, it's just going to be Star Wars. So I think they can kind of branch out a little more and kind of get out of what they're.
I definitely hope
doing.
so.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the books are 8 books long, so there's
no
way to do that in 3 movies. But I mean, I could definitely see them basing it on it, and it'd be fun if they did.
Yeah.
So they start principal photography in studio next month.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about J.J. Abrams a little bit. You guys excited? I mean, he did wonderful with Star Trek. I think he's going to do really well. I know that they said he's fallen in and out of love with IMAX, so he may go to a different medium.
I don't really see that
There
happening,
were
though.
rumors that he may even try models again, to bring back some classic feel for Star Wars.
That'd be sweet.
Again, no confirmation on that, but something to kind of speculate, to kind of make the movies just feel a bit more true to the ones we all love, which is 4, 5, and 6.
Definitely, and bringing back some of the original writers from episodes 5 and 6 too is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
Those were 2 of the best movies of the series, so we can't discount that as well.
Well, J.J. Abrams is a really good storyteller too. I mean, pretty much everything, whether you like Lost or like The Fringe, like his TV shows, he's done. He's a good producer as well. So I mean, with his hand and his name on it.
Let's just mind the lens flares.
I was about to bring
Actually,
it up.
he was
Lens
going to.
flares.
Super 8 had way too much.
Not
So
enough.
we want to thank Robert Stanley from Facebook for that topic. As soon as it was announced, he threw it on the page and really wanted us to kind of touch on it. So we thank you for helping us out and bringing in a topic for us. I think the next one we're going to go with came from Javier Ramirez, also on Facebook. Talks about comic shop. So let's look at comic shops locally. I mean, because of course that's all we go to. he wanted to know, what do we look for when we go to a comic shop? Is this something that we want to make a permanent place to go visit, or is it they just happen to have what I wanted? So he wanted to kind of talk about what makes a comic shop keep you coming back, I guess is what we're going for. I've lived in this area for almost my entire life, and we can't name the names, but one of the shops here used to go in and just feel like you were a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was that, well, actually, Luke Skywalker, and he was like, well, I'm 7. Give me a break, I'm 7. And so I think the staff has a lot to do with it,
Yeah.
that they can relate to you and educate you and make you more interested in the product, and you tend to go back for more, because then it's nerds talking about nerdy stuff, say, I just read this book, and he's like, I read it the other day too. Boom, you go back because you want to talk about what you saw. I think that's a big part for me.
It's got to be fun and interesting, and not like just a boring lecture of why you're wrong. My favorite thing is the question. He also mentioned gaming stores as well, and definitely what I look for when I go into a place like that is look for the board for gamers, like looking for groups and groups looking for gamers. That means that this is a community place. Like this is something where people come in here and they spend time, they meet friends and stuff like that. That stuff helps, especially when new people come to town. It's hard to make friends, it's hard to find the people who want to do these kind of things, and that helps out a lot. It's a good thing to look for in a store.
Yeah, public game rooms are cool.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's all about the people.
Yeah.
Like, if I can go in there and if I wasn't even going to go in there just to buy a comic book, I just wanted to BS with friends, and then something comes up like, hey, you've checking out the Manhattan Project? Hey, what's that about? Oh, it's this really good series, and I picked up a new series that way. Mm-hmm. And it just starts off with the people, and then from there, I really don't care about the community events as much. I mean, that's great to see because that means they're involved more with the people, but to me, it's always going to be the people, because if they're like touch on a story I had, it's like, hey, what do you recommend? Oh, something over there. Well, thanks.
Yeah, it also helps you feel like the people who run the store really care about the people.
Yeah.
When they give them space to play a game, or when they give them space to communicate to each other like that. It's not just about the money; it's about the culture and the people there.
Matt, you love all comic book stores?
No. Unfortunately, a lot that I like end up closing, and it's just like,
okay, so we won't talk
so
about
it's Matt. So it's Matt.
No.
If you see him in a store, just run away.
The one that I've been going to for the last 10 plus years now is still nice. So, no, I like variety though. I mean, what you guys said, but I want to go into a store. If I'm going in, my big purchases are usually graphic novels, so I want a nice collection to be able to browse, try something new. But I also don't mind walking out with a collectible or a board game or a miniature, something like that. That you just see. You want more than, I think, comics and card games and stuff like that. I just expansion is always good for a store, and kind of I don't have time to look over here yet, but I'll come back tomorrow and see what I can find. So yeah.
No, and just the community thing one more time, when you walk into a place and you see they have like 8 empty or dedicated rooms with doors, or you go and you see and guys are playing D&D or guys are playing Warhammer, and they're like, oh, hey, come in, it's really cool stuff, especially for someone who's like kind of new into that genre. They're like, oh, you just want to check it out? I'm like, yeah, let me just kind of see, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, they can sit down and they'll teach you.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. They won't care. They'll be like, hey, sit down and watch us play.
Yeah. So the last thing we're going to talk about is something that we actually broke on the Strictly Nerd channel, was the implication that VR is coming to gaming. We're talking Oculus Rift. The Developer Kit 2, is ready for pre-order. Sony announced Project Morpheus, so we're looking at PS4 with integration of the PlayStation Eye and the DualShock controllers. And then, in I think a forced move, and I think you guys will agree with me on this, Microsoft says, oh, well,
of course,
we were doing that too. We just didn't want to show it yet. And they still haven't. They've just said they haven't.
It'll happen at E3, watch.
Early E3 prediction, Virtual Boy 2.
No, I'm telling you, it's going to be the
Virtual U.
It's going to be Virtual U. Thank
Virtual
you.
U.
The Virtual U.
Virtual U with your own set of cataracts.
And you can just play the drums.
I'm pretty sure they learned from their mistakes. I'm sure. Nintendo's
So-
pretty good about that.
So I really wanted to kind of just touch base on what do you think this is going to do for gaming? I mean, we've all seen all the movies, all the dystopia type movie or read dystopia type books where you plug in VR and you just
You're
experience
there.
everything right there.
Did you get stuck in? It's a horrible anime plot. There you go.
Yeah, some of those are
Hopefully,
very good animes.
It's true, but some are bad.
hopefully the robots don't take over. But think about like being able. I believe the president of Sony was like talking about Morpheus, and he's like, I looked down and I saw Kratos' body. And you're holding 2 move controllers, so you have the champion blade of Kratos.
I just think it's funny that they're trying to hold on so tight to the move. Like, we have to. We're gonna come out with more stuff.
Never give up.
please.
I mean, I think for that they're just using the technology they already have.
No, I know,
mean,
but they're just so
Yeah.
desperate
with
for
the
people
Oculus
to use
Rift,
it.
I wish I wasn't on my keyboard or an Xbox controller as much as I was just like moving around wanting to touch stuff.
Well, with as good as the Kinect is with the Xbox One, I can't see them not doing like a Star Wars game, lightsaber fighting, or even just a medieval sword fighting game, like something where people can just swing stuff around and break their TV with their own hands.
As long
instead
as
of a
it's not
controller.
Star Wars Connect 2.
Force push.
I think Josh has really got it there. The Kinect by far superior to anything on the market right now as far as accuracy. I've tried the Xbox Fitness.
That's fun.
It's pretty on point. So I think you mix that in with a VR headset.
Yeah.
No need for controllers.
Be cool.
So you're not gonna risk letting go of something all back then. Like how many Wiimotes got put into TVs that first year?
That was just people being stupid. Though.
That's true.
Well,
But
The warnings were there.
wrist straps, guys. Wrist straps.
But what about the actual the VR aspect of it though? The wearing the headset, the 360-degree immersion. I mean, you know a lot more about that than the rest of us.
With like the Oculus Rift and then comparing the Oculus Rift to the Project Morpheus, just because we know about those two right now, we don't know about Microsoft's. The main difference I'm seeing is with the Oculus Rift, it fits snugly on your head, which after a while gets a little cumbersome and it starts to sweat a little bit, especially if you sweat a lot, and it gets just a little heavy too. Project Morpheus, it literally comes down. Now the issue with that is, can you get that snug fit to get great 360 VR? Mm-hmm. And the other thing with the Project Morpheus I'm excited about is the fact that they have 360 audio put into it already.
That's cool.
See, with the Oculus Rift, you're already using whatever headphones you have. But with Sony's, it's 360, and I've heard stuff with people shooting an arrow over here, and they can hear it over here or behind them. I'm just excited for Project Morpheus immensely, but with Oculus Rift, the new dev kit, they're going to have the OLED screen, which is amazing. They haven't even talked about maybe doing a 4K screen when the final version comes out. But as of right now, I love the Oculus Rift because it's out.
Did they say anything with the DK2 about doing any audio implication, or
No.
is it still going to be your own source?
As of right now, it's still your own source of headphones. They're using Crystal Cove technology too, which is basically tracking your head in depth-wise. So they show demos of somebody like looking down and looking at an RTS and like, oh, my guys over here are in trouble. I need to see more troops. Or let me peek over the window or over a chimney or over a wall at a horror game, and boom, there are horror games right there.
Because I know what you're saying there, because the when you brought the Oculus over and I put it on and we were doing the space thing,
And that's
you wanted to, like, you could do this and you could do this, but you wanted to kind of go like this and look over your ship.
Exactly.
And so definitely I think that's an important step for them, is that depth.
And the depth perception is a big thing, and I think it's going to be the next generation of actual gaming is VR. But just the research and scientific aspects of it are awesome. I mean, Project Morpheus people announced that they're working with NASA to be able to go on the moon, Mars. I mean, the Titan to Space demo on Oculus Rift was amazing. You really saw the aspect of the solar system and how big the sun was and all the other stars around us.
Yeah, like that felt just like it was a whole new experience being in that headset and just looking and just having it, just your entire like view was just this giant sun in front of your face. You actually felt minuscule next to it. Like, I cannot wait to actually play a game in that kind of a setting.
I thought you were going to say, I can't wait to go to the sun.
I would love to.
I do need a little bit of a tan. I'm pretty pale. But
Paler than you are. The very first time I put it on, I played Titans of Space, which is the Oculus Rift. Best demo probably is the Oculus Rift right now. And I was looking at the Earth. It starts off with the Earth, and I just turned and saw the sun. I literally got goosebumps. I was like, "This is the future. This is going to be the future."
And then we demoed that people are betaing putting like classic games in first person. So we've all played, well, most of us have played Zelda, the first one, mind you, and for NES. Put that in first person, completely different experience.
Oh, yeah.
Like you put the headset on and all you see is a green rock in front of you. And in your head you have to try to remember what it looks like from top view and make your way around the rocks and through, like down the cave. And you know you get the sword, it's up in front of you, and then everything's first person from there. And it was just so surreal, that whole experience of it was a brand new game, and they did Wind Waker 2, and I know they were trying to get the sailing part down.
Yeah, they still haven't yet. It's still in beta. There's a lot of programming involved with that. I just picture being able to, like, there's the Master Sword. Let me pull it out of the stone.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
That would be epic. Or even bringing up the ocarina to your mouth, having to play it.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Nerds of the Round. We appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with us. Again, my name is Bryan Pruitt.
Matthew Ferguson.
Josh Arnold.
Just Lance with no last name.
No last name Lance, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.